Good evening, my fellow citizens.
Welcome to Tuesdays Live. How are you tonight? We are glad you are tuned in to Tuesdays Live. This is Mark. That's me over there on the screen. Hello, how are you? Glad you're tuned in today. We have a great guest lined up joining us from Moscow. We'll bring her in a little bit. But right now, let me remind you that we are an interactive show. What that means is pretty simple. Get on to Twitter. Give us a mention at AllIndie, ALLINDIE. There it is, right? Oh, that's me. That's my handle down there, M. Lamdansky. But you can go to All Indie, not go there, but mention us. And if you give us a mention on Twitter, we'll give you a shout out right here on the air for all the world to see as well, because we're going to put a little banner up on the bottom of the screen there with your tweet. And you could also, there it is, like that one there. That's from YouTube, actually. And now that I've lost my train of thought because of that, oh, yeah. So if you have any questions for our guest, you can also tweet us that way, or you can call in. Rich is going to throw up that number. There it is. Area code 347-985-0344. Now, if you live in the U.S. or Canada, that is, that's what the phone number is for. Of course, you can call in from anywhere in the world, but you're going to be paying some hefty money if you do that. So 347-985-0344 if you want to call in with any of your questions. After the show's over tonight, of course, if you miss any part of it, it'll be available on YouTube or at our webpage, tuesdayslive.com, and you can, look at it later. And pretty soon we'll have our audio podcast up as well. Now, we've got some news, but before we go to that news, let me bring in my partner in crime, the man who does all the technical stuff in the background. And I'm not going to say anything about his town tonight, Mr. Rich Wildman. Hey, Rich.
You know, you can make up stuff about where I live. That's fine. I don't mind at all. I moved here, a year and a half ago or so you can just go ahead and start, I don't mind. Now, everybody else who watches here in town might. So, it's up to you.
What did you tell me? I know you've mentioned this before, but what did you tell me the population was of the town you're in?
Almost 9,000.
Almost 9,000. So
yeah.
Okay. So it's larger than the ships, the biggest ships, because I met a couple a few weeks ago who were from a small town in Northern California with a population of 3,500. They had just come off a cruise. The ship holds about 5,000 people.
Yeah.
So they could fit their entire town into the cruise ship.
With room to spare.
Plenty of room to spare, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing how big some of these ships are getting, and it's really kind of confusing. But you said we have news, and yes, we do. So tell everybody what the news is.
Right. As of this afternoon, early this afternoon, we now stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, streaming independent music from around the world. All that music that I've had kind of archived from the Butterflies Radio and Worldwide Indie Radio days is back on the air, and we are accepting new music submissions. So all you've got to do is go to our website, tuesdayslive.com, and click on the link that says Submit Music. We would love to have your music for consideration. And we're excited about that. So you can see that video 24/7 either at our website or on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, or Stream Me. All those places. Oh, and of course we have our standard audio, which is not quite ready for prime time, but it is streaming out there. And we're excited about that. It's pretty cool. Rich worked his butt off today to get that thing going.
And we're working on some other things in the background, too. We don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but they're pretty exciting things as well. So we'll see how all that pans out as soon as I can figure out how to quit banging my head against that wall.
Yes, yeah. I see your makeup woman did a really good job of covering the bruises on your forehead.
Yeah, really. There's a lump there, but
There is
fairly nice. So, but yeah,
and
it's one of those
you didn't
things. What are you going to do?
you didn't put a hole in the drywall, did you?
No. It was the brick wall outside. I don't mess around with that lightweight stuff, Mark. And speaking of someone else who doesn't mess around with lightweight stuff, I want to tell you about the Indie Music Bus. Of course, the Indie Music Bus sponsors our show, and we're happy that they do. But the Indie Music Bus does much more than that. If you're an independent artist out there trying to navigate the narrow ways of social media, you know how darn frustrating it can be. Perhaps you have a lump like I do on your head from banging your head against that social media wall. Well, if you do, get in touch with Walt and the crew over at the Indie Music Bus. IndieMusicBus.com is where you can find them, and this is just a little something of some of the stuff they can help you out with. And that's the Indie Music Bus. Walt and the team over there are very much looking forward to hearing from you. You can get in touch with them on Twitter, Indie Music Bus, or go to their website. Once again, IndieMusicBus.com. And, speaking of going 24/7, I'm actually pretty happy with how everything's turned out on that. I've still got a little tweaking behind the scenes to do, but I think it's going to work out fine.
It's going to be great. So go to our website and share. When you're there watching, make sure you share to Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you can. Yeah, and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. I was going to ask you something, and now I forgot what it was.
I know, no.
But anyway, what I wanted.
It's not about me. It's about our guests.
Well, what I was going to mention, because I'm not sure if he did or not, was about Walt. Everything he does there for Indie Music Bus, he does it absolutely free. That's what I wanted to.
The highest cost imaginable. Free.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's all we can imagine is free.
No, he's a saint of a man, and I have written many a letter to the Pope asking that he be canonized and made a saint. Saint Walt, we'll call him.
Saint Walt.
Yeah.
Oh man, Walt or Wally? Let's see. What sounds cornier, Saint Walt or Saint Wally?
Saint Wally.
Yeah. That'd be funny. We have to make sure he watches this episode so he can vote on which one he prefers. All right. Let me go ahead and bring in our guest for the evening. She's a beautiful young lady, and she's coming to us from Moscow. Yes, our very first guest from that part of the world. And her name is Marina May, and you're going to love her. Here she is. Marina, are you there with me? Say hi.
Yeah, hello, good evening, everybody.
How are you today, Marina? How you feeling?
I'm great. I'm very happy to be here with you tonight.
Oh, well, we're happy to have you. And like I mentioned earlier, you're the very first guest we've ever had from Moscow. I think we've had guests way back when in another part of that world. I don't remember which one, Kazakhstan or something like that. But you're the first from Moscow. I right off the bat, and I'm sure a lot of most of our listeners are probably from right here in the United States. So I want to, for my own curiosity and theirs, I mean, how is life in for you in Moscow? Do they treat you well there? Are you doing well there?
Yeah, you're gonna be very surprised if you come here like the last 5-6 years, because Moscow changed a lot since last 10-15 years. Like all the European companies started to make business here around, and all this investment and industry So actually, when you come here now, so I work as an interpreter and hostess for many international companies. You know, from Italy, from Germany, and when they come here for the first time, they are very surprised because their imagination about Russia and Moscow is about this years ago, and what they see right now is totally different. It's a big European capital right now, and it's very industrial. You find everything here from the world, so it's very international, and so globalization is here also. So you're really gonna love it.
You say you've been living there now for how long? 5, 6 years? Is that what you said?
No, I mean, okay, I live here for all my life, except
Oh,
some years I lived in Germany and some years I studied in the university in Italy. But the last, I turned back in 2008. So
okay.
last 10 years I am here. So and I can observe these changes, like every day, what's going on here. And of course, this year we are going to have like a football international World Cup. So everything is going to be much more beautiful than before because all around are reconstructions everywhere. So they're really making the city very beautiful right now for this event.
That's awesome. So your most recent album, did you record that there in Russia?
And no. So this album has a big story. So I started to record demos for this album here in the studio, but finally, album was recorded in Germany and released also there, and so in European markets.
Okay. Yeah, I think you mentioned when we were doing the test yesterday that your music is more popular in Europe and in the United States than it is in Russia. And is that because Russian musical taste is different? Do you think from other parts of the world, or I mean, what do they listen to in Russia?
Yeah, it's a great great question, really. I expected that. Actually, to be not to make a very a long story right now of that, I would say yes. So as we take right now music industry as well, so here in Russia it's a very specific music industry. So of course we have young people and some people who listen like all the people in the world, all this international music we have, from the Europe, United States, and so everything what is popular now. So all the commercial music, but here, this like how can I say that chanson music or local music, it's so popular because like the only way here to get out, to get popular, it's like first of all to sing in your own language. So, and the second in, this style of music, because people still have this mentality, a little bit, behind of the Europe, and so from the west part of the world, I would say. So that's why it was my reason why I went to Germany to record this album and start my career there, because you know as a child and everything, I was listening all the American stuff actually. So I was growing up with Michael Jackson and Bon Jovi. So I couldn't imagine myself like making some kind of chanson music, this stuff. It's totally not my thing. So and I knew that to start here, it's like useless for me. That's why that was my decision, yeah, to start everything in Germany. And for the same reason, because the album was released in Germany and we put it on iTunes from the German label and everything. So I got some popularity there, and not here.
Well, that's now so it's kind of interesting that you say that you grew up listening to Michael Jackson and Bon Jovi. I mean, you were born in 1985. So, I mean, just between you and me, you were born a couple of months after I graduated high school. So, um, wow. So your parents must have had really good taste in music.
Actually, my parents have nothing to do with music, unfortunately. No, it's
Oh,
yeah, but it's the reason it's for that is because those years as a child, we lived in Germany, so I would say I had access to all this, American music, international music, and yeah, as other child in the school between lessons, or I don't know, reading something, I was singing all the time, like stuff of Madonna, or Always from Bon Jovi, or I don't know, I Am Bad from Michael Jackson. So yeah, and I totally was growing up with American music, but not the music from here.
and would you say that that Michael Jackson, Bon Jovi, those artists from that era, would you say that they're the inspiration behind your music that you write today?
Of course, no doubt. So it was my, like we say, our consciousness is formatting like between you are 4 till 8. I mean, so generally, in general, and yeah, in those years, I was listening to those artists and all these rock bands of that time, and of course, there were also and Backstreet Boys and all that stuff too, and Spice Girls and everything of the pop music you can imagine. But of course, there was some music that, totally, I was totally admiring and inspired me for all these years, every day.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and play the first song of the evening, which is Never Mind My Love. Now, what we'd like for our guests to do before we play the music is to explain a little bit about the song, what it's about, what inspired you to write it, how it came to be. So tell us about this song, Never Mind My Love.
Yeah, so prepare to get into a little bit of psycholinguistic things, because I studied in the University of Foreign Languages, and we had a lot of psycholinguistic things, and that's why it's not going to be easy to understand, maybe. So actually, Never Mind My Love is a song about evolution of woman psychology and consciousness. Because I was inspired by the story. A girl, a friend of mine, she told me the story like she was in a relationship with a man, but that love was not reciprocal, and so she was expecting for years something to change, but it never happened. So, and at those times, I discovered a lot of girls who are in the kind same situation, like they undervalue themselves, like they sometimes even degrade themselves, because I don't know, because they have no hope for another big love, or they think they are not measure up for something. And so after that story she told me, I just I just wrote the lyrics like in 15 minutes. So I had that all that thoughts, and this song is my message to all the women, all the girls in the world, to think and not to lose their time and not to undervalue themselves, and to understand that, of course, I can imagine that a big true love, you can like throw it away, from your heart in a minute. But it's at the same time, it's not the reason, to spend the years losing all the things around, hoping for something which never happens. And so you still can love someone, but at the same time, have a worthy a life full of happiness and all the great things we have in the world.
Very good explanation of the song. Thank you. That was awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a listen. It's called Never Mind My Love by Marina May, right here on Tuesdays Live. Take it away, Rich.
You've always been promiscuous and unattainable. Consider all the girls to be easily accessible. You've never observed that you completely lost. You took this life as a matter of course. You need someone to take you out from your world, defended by haughtiness with impenetrable darts. Thoughts I've been next for you to use and throw away. I've had immunity not to construct illusions and fairy tales. I'm still begging you, my love. Please never mind my love.
Never Mind My Love by Marina May right here on Tuesdays Live. One of the 3 great songs we'll be playing on the show tonight. I listened to the songs before the show tonight for the first time, and I enjoyed them, and I know you all will as well. And right now, I'm going to let my partner take over for a bit and give these lungs a little rest. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
for it, Rich.
that's something you've never ever needed to do before, Mark. I'm just saying,
Never.
Yeah. I have some. First of all, Marina, thank you for being on the program with us. It's very kind of you to stay up so late where you're at. I know it's very early in the morning there.
Yeah, don't worry. Thanks to you guys. It's not a problem for me because I'm a night inspiring person. I'm writing all the lyrics in the night, all the music in the night, every time. So it's actually my time right now. So don't worry, we are exactly in the right time.
That's great to hear. Now, I spoke with you while the song was playing about something that happened when you were a youngster. Reading through your bio, it's really kind of fascinating to read a little bit of this. You started playing piano at the age of 6 and performed. Now, first of all, playing piano at the age of 6. Come on, you're like a genius or a savant or something like that if you could play piano at age 6. I was like this tall at age 6, so I wouldn't have been able to play anyway. But at 13, you played live on stage with an orchestra. Now, I'd mentioned that had to have been a nerve-wracking experience. I mean, were you nervous when that took place?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, actually, I was starting to play the piano when I was 4. At
Oh
6,
my.
it was meant that I started to learn at the school because, like I came for the casting. We were in Germany in that time, and I started to play something, and the teacher told that I have like the fingers from the god. So they took me like in 20 seconds. So actually at 6 I was already playing, some
Could your feet
stories.
even could you even touch the pedals at that age?
No, no. You know how that happened? I was like small like that, as he showed us, and it was table was like that. So
Yeah.
I came to my parents. I was between 4 or 5, and I came up to my parents, and so the table was here, and I put like like this, and I said, please bring me to the music school. I want to start music professionally, to learn music professionally. They looked at me like, hey, what can you know about life? So I mean, what is here? So but yeah, it's like I'm a happy person because since that time I knew what I was born for. And
That,
there is there is another story behind. I think I was 5. I saw the video. I think you remember, of course, by the rock set. It must have been Love,
yeah.
soundtrack of the Pretty Woman. And these moments when she is playing, the piano in the video, and I can't even explain and express what I felt that moment. So it was deciding moment in my life because I understood that moment that music is everything for me. So I should play the piano in the most professional possible way, and music is it's all that I gonna connect my life with. So yeah, and about your question, yeah, it was really a big experience because, I was 13 and I had like 30 people behind me who are, I don't know, 40 years old, 45, maybe 50,
They had
some
been
of
playing
them.
with the orchestra longer than you'd been
Yeah,
alive.
exactly. So I was leading instruments, so leading piano, and I had like people, who were twice or five times, older than me, playing for me that. And I have this video on YouTube as well. So people who don't believe, they can go and find it and look at that. So it was the concert of the Bach. And maybe, as you know, Bach is one of the most difficult musicians to play, and
Yeah.
even for the elder persons, not for the children. So yes, I was, my the preparations for that. So I was playing before the concert. I think like 8, 9, 10 months. I was playing like from 8 till 12 hours piano every day.
Wow. That's dedication. Now, let's move up to the music you create today and talk about that a little bit. Do you, as an indie artist, do you do everything yourself, all the recording, all the writing, performing of the music, all yourself? Do you perform with a band? Do you have a producer? How does all that work?
Oh, it's not an easy question. Actually, yeah, I position myself like I'm artist. I'm self-made artist. So I write, I compose music, I write the lyrics, and of course, I'm sitting in the studio and making all this arrangement for my song. So I understand very well right now because it's years, the sound engineering and everything. I know how many exciter you should put, how many delay, which balance should be between beats and basses and everything. So, of course, here in Moscow, in the studio, where I record all my demos now for the second album, there is a person. It's my great friend, and so he is a sound engineer. So we are doing actually all my latest demo we did together. So in two. With the first album, that was another story because I can play the guitar, but all this just basic. And I wanted to be this album like a mix between rock, pop, and R&B. So of course, for these rock songs we are going to listen, I had to ask some people to help me. So like guitarists, some rock musicians. And so in Germany, all this rock stuff was recorded by professional musicians.
Okay.
And it's like that. So it was like cooperation work together. But actually now, so yes, I'm doing everything myself. So even my videos, which are also on YouTube, my video clips on the songs, we did. So it was my ideas. It was I also participated in montage and everything. So yeah, I can do, actually now I can do everything. I can be a sound producer, I can be a director, I can be an arrangement, and so everything.
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind indie, as in indie artist, is you do everything. You're a jack of all trades and master of none. It almost seems like, as an indie artist, at least indie artists in general are. Now, let's talk about how you get your music out there. Do you play at do you tour? Do you play local locations, or how do you get your music out there to the world for the world to hear?
Uh, Actually, I'm not performing live right now. Some years ago, as my album was recorded, I had kind of a little tour in Germany around the cities on the radio, actually, and performed in some places, but that's all. So the problem is, as we talked, in the beginning of the show, my music is everything in English. I have some songs mixed Spanish and Italian and English. But here in Russia, to perform with such a material, you should be already like a world superstar.
Yeah.
you know. Otherwise, the people can understand this material. So the problem is that here there is no sense for me to perform. So I would love to perform or to go on tour somewhere in Europe, or of course, mostly wished is in United States.
Sure.
So honestly saying, my purpose or my final purpose or my destination is to be when you are right now,
You
to
don't
perform in
now.
your country.
I gotta tell you, you don't want to be where I'm at because I'm in a small town. You want to be in the big cities, like New York, L.A., and stuff. In Paris may sound glamorous.
Exactly, LA is my
Yeah,
dream. Yeah,
Paris.
it was idioma.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you
Paris.
are
Paris.
actually
Par-
geographically you are in United States, so
yeah,
it's
I no, I understand. Paris sounds glamorous, but it's really not. So it's all good. All right, now I got one more question before we get to your second song, and that question has to do with what is next. I know you're working on a second album. When do you expect that to be coming out and available to all your fans?
actually I have for now 7 tracks ready, and I would like to have like 5, 6 more. So I don't know how many times it will take, because the creative process is very unpredictable. So there were some songs, I got or I wrote, I composed like overnight, and then we needed like couple of months, to make all the arrangement, to bring all the sounds, beats inside, and it was ready, so mixed and mastered. But some song like my last one, I actually remastered it yesterday. So it took me a year, because I wanted, the second album is totally experimental. It's so far away from the first. I'm trying really to bring in like new music styles and new vocal style. I know it's a very big level, so it's a very high level, but somebody has to do that,
Oh,
because last
absolutely.
20 years nothing changed.
Yeah, you got
Actually,
that right.
there is.
I totally I couldn't agree with you more on that. You need to be the one who ushers in a new era of music. I vote for you. I'm going to
Thank you.
bring Mark.
Really, I'm doing my best right now.
Well, just keep it up. I think you're on the right track. I'm going to bring Mark back in so he can introduce the second song from you from tonight.
Let me first say, future musicians, if I can speak properly, future musicians are going to look back and say, my inspiration was Marina May. That's the way it's going to be.
Of
Abs-
course, when we recorded like my Iron Beat track, and we put it so, experimental instrument, it was such a hard work. And the girl who was helping me with the back voices, so she said, of course, you know why we are doing this right now, so that someone, not someone, millions in 5 years is gonna say, yeah, we want to sing like Marina May. That's why we are here, for 24 hours in the studio, like looking for all these new sounds and vocal techniques and everything.
Yeah, there you go. My grandchildren are going to say, "Oh, Marina May, yeah, I remember her." All right, uh, the next song we're going to play tonight. That was a terrible segue, but I can't help it. "Power of the Dream" is the next song. Tell us a little bit about this one.
What can one say when you hear "Power of the Dream"? So I was inspired by stories of the people. It's my observations of life. Actually, I heard a lot of stories from the people of sport industry, musicians as me, people from big business industry, and the people who for like 10, 12, 15 years was working every day so hard, and nothing was happening. and they were at the bottom, and they were totally desperate. And I was asking always myself, what is that mysterious, metaphysical thing that pushes them, really to keep on going? And of course, here is also my personal experience. I was also hard times. I was 2 times in reanimation with no chances to be alive again. I was in all the worst situation in the life you could imagine. So and what was that thing which kept me, to move on, not to give up, to fight, to get somewhere. It was this power of the dream. So that was my answer to all these stories. When I see people from the Olympic Games and stories behind, like he was for like already 5 Olympic Games, 18 years, and no results. So it's not just the patience. I think to go all along through these times, without seeing any light. And as a student, I was very I was making such things, like I liked so much to make philosophical quizzes to the people, like you are saying, and you asking, do you want coffee or cappuccino? And then the next question, did you find the sense of life? you know what is your dream? And you know what I discovered? So many people have no dreams at all. They have no dreams, really. I was it's because it's strange for me, but I discovered that a lot of people have no dreams, no destination. They are just swimming in the big ocean with no directions. They are conducted in life, and that's all. So an opposite of that is people like me, and people, all this who came to the results maybe after 15 or 20 or even 30 years. So what that pushed them to that? It's power of the dream.
All right. Let's let the audience take a listen. And when we come back, we're probably going to go into the third song, and then we'll finish up right after that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a listen to Power of the Dream right here on Tuesdays Live. Rich, take it.
I wanna stop in the middle. I wanna pray for a little. Not gonna doubt. Power of the dream is all I'm about. Belief is more than a feeling. We built with it. Our living. Know how to fight. Overcome oneself. Get round to the heights.
Why aren't I hearing you, Mark?
You know, it would be helpful if I unmuted my microphone. I had to blow my nose before, and I didn't want the whole world to hear it, so I turned off my mic. I just forgot to put it back on again. Well, so Power of the Dream right here on Tuesdays Live by Marina May. I do apologize for that. And this is live television.
I'm going to step in here 1 second. For any show after this one, Marina, just, for your information as well, I'm going to create a graphic that flashes on the bottom of the screen every time Mark has his mic muted. It says Mark is blowing his nose. It's just going to flash off and on.
Okay, come on now. It would have been rude of me not to do that, wouldn't it? I mean, I
don't know. I've never heard you blow your nose. I don't know.
Would you want to?
We don't know, since we've never heard it. So it could be the most pleasant noise in the world. We just don't know.
It doesn't.
Anyway,
it does not compare. It does not compare to Marina May's voice. I can tell you that. So, all right. Wow. So we've got to move on to song number 3 with about 12 minutes left in the show. And it's called Get Rid Of. And this is going to be interesting. What is this song about? Get rid of. To me, it sounds like you're getting rid of a boyfriend or something.
Yeah, exactly. You just said it. You just said it directly right now. No, but actually, it's nothing to hide here. It's my personal story. So it's a song about the complicated relationships. When how can you describe it? So when you are with someone, but you feel much more alone, as if when you are single. So, and I think a lot of people can understand me, in this. So why just keep these relationships when you are alone? You feel much better. So that's what song about, not to lie to yourself, and just better to get rid of such relationships, as when you feel much more alone when you are together with someone.
All right. Well, let's let the audience take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, the name of the song is Get Rid Of by Marina May right here on Tuesdays Live. Take it, Rich.
Now pretend there will be between wants disappear. Close my mental presence. You're getting overdosed, feeling it first time. You're keeping silence is what I've always done. The sense of happiness drives me in blind alley. For my salvation, I'll go away. Get rid of your oppression. Let us liberate just to fly asunder. Try to get resign yourself with this sensation. Stare at me. It will set you free. Set you free. Set you free. Get rid of your oppression. Let us liberate just to fly asunder. Try to get resign yourself with this sensation. Stare at me. You know I'll set you free.
Get Rid of by Marina May right here on Tuesdays Live. My mic is on, right, Rich? You can hear me?
Yeah, it is right now, Mark. So, if you need to blow your nose, just let it go, man. Let it
out?
go.
Really?
Isn't that
Okay.
what they sang in that one show? Let it go. Was that the one? Or no? Wait a minute.
Let
It
it
was something
blow.
about something. Let it blow. Let it go. Something about snow. Maybe it was snow. I don't remember.
Oh my God! Isn't there another song called "Go Away"?
I just did.
Okay. Anyway, so we're here with Marina May, who is joining us live from Moscow. It's probably coming up on about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning over there. What time is it?
3.
3 in the morning, and this is her time. She likes to be up at 3 a.m. So we all cannot feel bad for her. But tell us then. Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about a little bit about Moscow. We've only got a few more minutes left, and I'm just curious. What do people in Moscow do for fun? I mean, have you become? Is it very westernized over there? I mean, do you go to the movies, go to nightclubs? Do you spend a lot of time with family? What do you guys do over there in Moscow for fun?
Yeah, actually, if you will come here from New York, you're gonna feel like you never moved, you know, because I've never been to United States at this time still, but I have a lot of friends, who were in New York like thousands of times. And so Moscow is very similar. We do the same thing, guys. Why do you think like we are in the end of the world? We are we are here
Oh,
totally, yeah, the same way. We go to the movies, we go to clubs, to pubs on the weekend. We have all this big movement, like it's like New York, really. It's a big city, like to move from the south to the north, it can take you 2, 3, 4 hours, so it's the same. I can't really now identify, the big differences between maybe New York or Moscow. I think it's the same way of life.
okay. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that I thought you or had any ideas of you being a third world country or something, or a backwards country. I just didn't know. Look, different cultures, different parts of the world like to do different things. And you answered my question. Do you have McDonald's there, or Burger King, or Wendy's?
Of course, we have everything. I have here in front of me 3, 4, 5 McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, whatever, everything, you know.
Well, and do you call it the quarter pounder with cheese or the Big Mac? Is that what you call it over there?
The same way, you know, because if you know the proper names never get, they never get translated to the language. So the same way we call it Big Mac, I don't know, and everything you call it. So Coca-Cola, you can't translate it. So it's the same, you know. Actually, today I was in the Mac with my little nephew because he obsessed with the McFlurry, you know, ice cream. So and some burgers. So it was to the point. So it's the same story here. It's not like we have Russian burgers. It's still Big Mac and everything like you have it.
Well, no, look. The reason I asked was because there was a movie, Pulp Fiction, I believe it was, where one of the characters had mentioned that in France they don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese or something like that. So they had a different name for it. So, you know, that's all. No big deal. All right. So now that we got through the important part of the interview and we know that you have McDonald's.
Marina, I can't believe you said that either. I really am. I'm sitting back here aghast because I can't believe McDonald's quarter pounder cheese.
What exactly you can't believe? That we have Mac, or I was today?
I can't believe Mark brought that question up. I just,
you know, the Oscar goes to Mr. Rich Wildman. Thank you very much. You know,
Mark, that's like me asking you, do they have McDonald's down where you're at?
Oh yes, the same thing. Yeah, absolutely the same thing. Anyway, we're at 8:00 right now, and unfortunately, thanks to Rich cutting in, we have to end it on the quarter pounder with cheese. So,
you want fries with that, Mark? Would you like it to go?
Never mind where I'd like it to go right now. Anyway, Marina, thank you for joining us tonight. It was really a pleasure having you, and we love your music. And when you drop your new album, make sure you contact us again so that we can invite you back on the show.
Of course, thank you too, guys. It was incredible to stay with you, and I hope you like my music and other people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know they will. If they haven't listened yet, they certainly will when they watch the podcast, and they'll hear it on the station. We're going to add it onto the rotation tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, Rich has got to say goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you, Marina. We really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And as Mark said, I do always have a special goodbye to Carol because, Carol is such a busy person. She's on the go all the time. We have no idea where she's at today. She's probably mountain climbing someplace, I'm suspecting. So, good night, Carol, wherever you are.
Mountain climbing. Is that what you call it these days? All right. Oh my God. All right. Marina got it. How come you didn't?
I'm just saying, she could be mountain climbing. Yeah. You don't know.
She could be. Yes. All right.
I didn't get from the conversation who is Carol or what it's. So what was the point about Carol?
Carol works behind the scenes. She is our A&R person. She's the one who handles all the scheduling. She's the one who you communicated with to to get scheduled on the show. She really does a lot of work for us, and each week we double her salary.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to. It's in her contract.
In our contract, every week we double it. Now,
Yeah.
she originally started with a 0 salary, so every week we double it.
Yeah, she's got more zeros in every check than, it's terrible. So anyway, good night to Carol. Good night, Marina. Good night to everyone else as well. Remember, music 24/7 all the time. Subscribe. You can listen here forever and a day. And who knows,
And
maybe one day we'll even go mobile. You never know. Just saying.
Maybe. And let me tell everybody, we were supposed to have a guest show next week, but unfortunately, due to some issues that came up, we are not going to be able to do our show next week. So we will see you in 2 weeks. And offhand, offhand, I don't remember who the guest is. I'm sorry. I'll post it on the website, on Facebook, on Twitter. But we will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you soon. So we're not going to be playing a song on the way out. We're going to go right to the exit. What?
In 2 weeks, we'll see you.
2 weeks. What did I say?
You just said we'll see you.
Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay. Bye.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.